ShareTweetRep. Ilhan Omar was the keynote speaker at the Black Lives Matter-led rally to censure President Donald Trump over his remarks on the Minnesota Congresswoman. "This is not going to be the country of white people," exclaimed Omar as the hardcore leftists cheered. Well, the 37-year-old also had nothing good to say about the United States, and angry Americans made her regret it. Don't miss this. Speaking at a Black Women in Defense of Ilhan Omar event on Tuesday in Washington, D.C., Rep. Ilhan Omar blamed President Donald Trump for a rise in Islamophobia and anti-Semitism in America. She also declared, "This is not going to be the country of white people." Soak that in for a second. Aside from the fact that Omar herself is personally responsible for bigoted rhetoric in America, imagine a Republican attending a rally called White Men in Defense of Donald Trump, and then telling the crowd, "This is not going to be the country of, insert race here, people." The outrage, rightfully so, would consume a 24/7 news cycle. Yet Omar's comments have very nearly slipped under the radar. When we talk about anti-Semitism, we must also talk about Islamophobia. "It is two sides of the same coin of bigotry," she told the crowd on the grounds of the Capitol. "This is not going to be the country of the xenophobics. This is not going to be the country of white people. This is not going to be the country of the few. This is going to be the country of the many." The silver lining here, it appears Omar is at least no longer hiding the fact that she is part of the coins of bigotry. Because on that one side, the anti-Semitic side, there is Omar, whose legacy includes references to Israel as evil, comparisons of Israel to Iran, repeated anti-Semitic tropes, support of the BDS, boycott, divestment, sanctions, movement against Israel, and the public badgering of a Jewish diplomat. The rally was held in defense of Omar after President Trump called her out for minimizing the terrorist attacks. Omar didn't stop at one clearly racist comment. No, she was just getting warmed up. The thing that upsets the occupant in the White House, his goons in the Republican Party, many of our colleagues in the Democratic Party, is that they can't stand that a refugee, a black woman, an immigrant, a Muslim shows up in Congress thinking she's equal to them, Omar claimed. Perhaps they're more concerned with the one adjective she left out, ignorant. While she was busy denouncing half of America as xenophobes and blasting white people, Omar took a stand to defend her home of Somalia. "I also happen to be a refugee and immigrant from what they call one of the S-hole countries," she said in reference to Trump's famous comments. The reality is that S-hole country raised a very proud, dignified person. Well, Americans are sick and tired of Omar's bigotry, her hatred of America, and her hatred of President Trump. If a white person said this, he or she would be called a paranoid conspiracy theorist, tweeted conservative pundit Stefan Molyneux. Good to hear her saying this. She's alienated white votes for the Democrats, further ensuring they won't get into power next time, tweeted Game Changer. She's a very low IQ/low info individual with little self-control/self-awareness. She often goes off script and says things like this that others on her side know they're not supposed to say in public yet. Quotes like "this is not going to be the country of white people" are gold, tweeted James R. Roche. This is what happens when you let in people who hate the majority host population and the society it created, tweeted Gene Griffin. Rep. Ilhan Omar is a noted anti-Semite. She has a criminal record with law enforcement where the arresting officers wrote Ilhan Omar demonstrated that she was going to continue her criminal behavior. She hates American culture and is out to change it. The good news is she faces re-election every 2 years in Congress. And if a patriotic American would take her on, people across the country would donate like crazy. It's time the GOP find a good American who believes in the Constitution and the rule of law and run them against the Trump-hating Omar. Americans across the country will be rejoicing the day she's gone. Share tweet.